The wonders of life got the prettiest side for everyone to enjoy. Standing up close by the Christmas tree, glimmering light, I am right where I wanna be. I will be home for a couple of days, wander around with you. You and me in the cold, thought it'd never be true. Wherever I go, I got you. Oh, I have stopped running, there is no way trying. You better loosen your belt. Drinking hot wine by the fire, don't care of anything else. It's Christmas.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of 25 Days of Christmas, an Advent podcast where we watch a Christmas movie or special every day until Christmas. I'm Patricia, and I'm here with my sister Carlene.
Hello everyone.
And today we're going to be talking about the 1990 comedy film Home Alone, which has become a major Christmas classic. And we are definitely really excited about it because it's been a while since we've seen it.
Yes, it's been a few years, I think.
Yeah, it has been a few years. So, taking place in Chicago, it focuses on the McCallister family getting ready to go on a trip to Paris. And the youngest in the family, named Kevin, is really, really rambunctious and wanting all the attention and wanting to know about if he's going to be able to pack his suitcase or not, and really upset that he wasn't able to get his cheese pizza. So he's basically like the pushover of the family. Everybody thinks that he's really annoying, and so he wishes that he never sees his family again, that he can be home alone. And so he actually gets his wish, because when they're rambunctiously leaving to go over to the airport to catch their flight, they leave their son accidentally. And it's the story about how his reactions are staying home alone, and the mother named Kate trying to do everything she can so that she can return before Christmas. And along the way, we have two thieves named Marv and Harry who are going around and stealing people's stuff around their homes while they're gone for the holidays. And the thing that they're eyeing on is the McCallister house. And Kevin is doing all that he can to protect the house, and he sets up a bunch of booby traps so that they don't make their way into the house and steal the stuff. And yeah, this is a pretty basic story in terms of that, but there's just a lot of stuff going on. So
I don't know if it's basic. I think it's just a classic. So there's it's one of those things where if you haven't seen Home Alone, where have you been living? Under a rock?
Yeah, exactly. And where's this rock that you've been living under that you have not seen Home Alone? Especially,
you've only had 30 years of an opportunity.
Exactly. We're talking about at some point. I'm having an interesting fact to tell you about this. Did you know that Home Alone was the highest grossing Christmas film of all time until 2018's Illumination's The Grinch?
Wow, that is shocking.
Yes, and it was the highest grossing action film of all time until, believe it or not, The Hangover Part 2.
Wow.
Yeah. So for
very interesting movies that come and take this space, and I wouldn't consider Home Alone action. It just feels like one of those movies that everyone will have an opportunity to watch. Mm-hmm. It's just one of those huge movies.
Exactly.
It's it's for Christmas. It's for your childhood. It's for just everything.
Yeah, it's even for the parents who are concerned about their child. So yeah, I think that let's talk about what we really liked about this movie.
Okay. Yeah, there's just a ton of things I really love about this movie.
The first thing I want to talk about is the music. The music by John Williams is fantastic. Definitely one of his best scores. You may know John Williams' music for things such as the Indiana Jones films and Star Wars and Superman and the Harry Potter films. So he's really well known for his music. And this definitely, the moment that the movie starts, it definitely brings you into that Christmas atmosphere and mood.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, this movie is a Christmas movie. It's the themes in Christmas. It's about Christmas. It's beautiful. It shows Christmas in the most beautiful way. It's a story about family and how important they are for the holidays. So yeah, the music is great. The visuals are great. I love how hilarious it is. Now, We've talked a lot about nostalgia, like how certain movies or certain things are linked to our childhood.
Yeah.
And so therefore it has a different, we appreciate it more than just for its beauty or for its intricacies or whatever. We can appreciate something in the way that it was part of our development and part of our childhood.
Yeah.
And Home Alone is that movie, you know? I don't remember how early or how young we were when we first saw it. Definitely not in 1990.
No, definitely not.
I was 2.
And I was 4.
So we were not watching this movie. But whenever we actually did, end up watching it, it just became part of our childhood.
I think we started watching it when both Home Alones 1 and 2 became more available to watch on television and when it were released on VHS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, this little kid is hilarious.
Yeah.
So he's a brat, right? He starts off being a brat. Mm-hmm. And his family is a little bit they're a little bit, in my opinion, a bit too aggressive for him. And also a little bit negligent. Like, the parents were a little bit negligent, and then the adults were, like, his aunt, or, doesn't care about him, and his uncle's really rude.
Yes.
And then his siblings and cousins, like, really treat him like at the bottom of the totem pole.
Yeah. It makes sense because he is the youngest.
It makes sense that they maybe exclude him from some of their, like, older kid activities, but to treat him like dirt, that was, I don't know. I think the reason why more so, like, he's treated that way is because he's so bratty. Like, he whines and complains, and not that I'm saying he doesn't have the right to, in some situations, like, he does get the short end of the stick. But he's just, like, a big personality amongst a lot of personalities.
Yeah.
But his character is hilarious. Like, not only is it funny, and the comedic timing of this kid is hilarious, like, it's on point.
Yeah.
The storyline is funny. And, like, obviously, the crazy thing is, like, it depends when you watch certain things, how your takeaway. So since we grew up with this story and this movie, like, I've only ever seen it and experienced it from a comedic standpoint, from an, like, enjoyability, and I don't think that's a word, but
yeah, I think that when you were a kid, I think the highlight for this movie are the booby traps.
Of course, the booby traps, the story, like, how he executes, like, this Mulan, let's get down to business kind of thing.
Yes.
But, like, as an adult, I'm not gonna lie, like, there's sometimes memes that float around, like, how certain villains get a bad rep, and you're like, as an adult, you can now see, like, hey, they were living their peaceful life, and these little brats came along and did something, and you can see how, like, maybe they're not such villains.
Yeah.
With Home Alone, like, looking at some of the scenes were really funny then, but now, like, as an adult, you look at them and you're like, that is terrifying. Or that is really, like, not okay. Or, like, hey, like, in the real world, that really will not fit. Like, you leave your child and just, like, for days. And, like, the mom, aside from her, the rest of the family wasn't in any kind of panic.
Nope.
Even the father, like, if the siblings or the uncle and aunt, but, like, even the father was not in any kind of panic that his child is left alone, who's 8 years old. The crooks or the thieves, like,
yeah,
they're really, like, horrendous, like, not only are you breaking into people's homes, like the whole wet bandit thing me and Patty were talking about, like, not only have you, like, violated someone's home and their privacy and stolen from them, now you, like, destroy their home by flooding it.
Yes.
Like, that's so, like, a whole other level of cruelty.
Yeah, imagine that this family, after returning home from the holidays, they see that not only their stuff was stolen, they see that not only the Christmas presents that they had under their tree is gone, their entire house is flooded, and they have to pay thousands of dollars worth of damage.
It's just so bad. And, like, when you're a kid or when you're, like, young, you're not even paying attention to those details.
Yeah.
Till later, you're like, oh man, that's horrendous. Like. And then, of course, obviously, some of the booby traps are super aggressive and super violent.
Yeah, I mean, we have everything from Harry's hand being completely burned when he touches the doorknob, his head being burned with a blowtorch. We have Marv's feet going through a lot of pain with the nail and the Christmas ornaments. Akin to, like, John McClane's Die Hard, in which his feet are in bad damage when he steps on the glass. So, yeah, I think I even remember a YouTube video once where a doctor actually analyzed all of the stuff that happened in Home Alone and would do a diagnosis about, like, what damage would happen to these villains.
Yeah, no, that obviously we know a lot of these things that in real life you would not survive.
No.
Or definitely not have enough energy to keep going through the house. You would have to take yourself very quickly to a hospital.
Yeah, if I had gotten shot by that BB gun, I would have been like, nope, that's it, goodbye.
Yeah, like, once I just saw even moving around, like, one thing is, like, robbing a home. Another thing is, like, there's someone there. So what are you going to do? Are you going to kidnap them? Are you going to, like, murder them? Are you going to tie them up? Like, so once there's, like, another person involved, like, your crime just, like, elevates. So, like, if it was me, I would have seen the house full of people and just never come back to that house. But I know there was an asphyxiation with that home. Like, he really was, like, he saw that as his crown jewel. But
yes,
but no, I think honestly, like, this movie is such an enjoyable movie. It's fun, it's funny, you know, like, we also get to see his character grow up a little bit and like, he wished for something, and when he thought he had his wish, he realized that's not really what he wanted. And
yeah,
it kind of brought back the attention to how important it is to have your family. And even sometimes when your family aren't always the best, you know, a family that loves you, you know, it's a family that you're going to want around.
Yeah, and he really learns this lesson, especially when he meets up with the old man, when he learns about his backstory involving with him not speaking with his son.
And even though they're, like, trying to teach this lesson through an 8-year-old's, like, how you have to conquer your fears and how you have to have, like, show some independence and grow up a bit while also, like, in recognizing the value of importance of family. Like, it seems very a little too grown up for him. He does a really good job of kind of showing that, you know. He gives good advice to this old man. And yeah, I don't know. What were your favorite parts about the movie?
My favorite parts about the movie were definitely seeing Kevin just exploring the house by himself and being able to do whatever he wanted. I think a highlight for me is when he was watching Angels with Filthy Souls, and he was using the audio so that he can be able to fool people to thinking that they were at home.
Yeah, I like that part a lot.
Yeah, the pizza delivery guy, and then Marv when he was sneaking into the house. So that was a highlight for me. Another highlight for me was obviously the booby traps and Kate's determination to get back home so that she can be with her son because she knows that he's left home alone. A scene that's kind of like overshadowed me was the situation with the polka players. Like, we learn about that they were like the polka kings of the Midwest, and we learned the backstories about a lot of them, that they've been gone like 49 weeks out of the year and they've only sold like 600 albums or something. That's pretty depressing. It's like you have this like 2-bit nobody band who's gone for the majority of the year not being with their families, and for what?
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, we understand that people have like passions and like goals and like dreams.
Yeah.
And of course it's important to follow those things, but I think seeing how these people are sacrificing like the time spent with their family and the quality of relationships, yeah, you're right. Like, it was kind of like, that didn't seem like a good exchange.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that people would remember about that scene was the time in which when the Polka King's son was at a funeral parlor and he was staring at the body all day and he didn't speak to his parents for like 6 or 7 weeks.
Yeah, like, he's talking about like a serious trauma. Like, this child had PTSD. And yeah, like you're saying, like, it's just kind of like, if you look at this movie, it has very many layers. And I think that's what's enjoyable. Like, when you are at different levels, you intake certain material or certain information, and it's enjoyable. And then, like, the older you get or the different perspectives you see, you can take in different things.
Yeah, like there's one moment that was a blink and you miss it where Kevin spills the milk in the table after he realizes that Buzz had ate all the cheese pizza, and the dad was actually cleaning it up with the napkin, and he accidentally threw away Kevin's plane ticket into the trash. So even if Kevin would have made it into the airport alongside with him, he would have had a ticket.
And maybe it was just almost fortuitous, showing you what's to come. You know what I mean? Like an insight into the fact that he was never going to be a part of this trip.
Exactly.
No, yeah, overall, I think if you haven't seen it,
where
have you been, right?
Where have you been?
But by chance, of course, it's a movie you should not watch. I think you would enjoy it, and I recommend it.
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
Anyone and everyone.
Yeah. So let's rank to see how often we would see this movie. Every year, every few years, or once or never again.
I think, for me personally, I could get away with watching it every year.
Okay.
Like, I don't think I would get tired of it, but I'm not going to make the effort to do it, if that makes sense. Like, it's not something I'm like, oh, let me run and do this and watch. But if it happened, it wouldn't be too bad. I wouldn't feel too, like, saturated by it.
Okay. As for me, I would watch it every year. This is one of the essential Christmas movies I would tune into every year.
Okay.
All right, let's rate it. So, how many Santas?
Ooh, that's a tricky one. I probably would go between 4.6, 4.8.
Wow. Okay, so pretty much the same score that you gave Klaus.
Yeah. For different reasons, obviously. Like, we talked about how beautiful Klaus was. I wouldn't say this movie's beautiful, Home Alone, but it's nostalgic and hilarious.
I mean, it is beautiful, especially with the Christmas lights.
It's true. Like, there's beauty to it, but, like, I mean, like, there's something about the way that Klaus is crafted that it feels whimsical.
Oh, okay.
And beautiful. And I wouldn't say Home Alone feels whimsical and beautiful. I would say it feels like my childhood, and it feels hilarious. And...
Okay. Yeah, I would give it 4 Santas out of 5.
Okay.
All right, then. So that is our discussion of Home Alone. Let us know in the comments below about your thoughts of Home Alone. Would you see it every year, every few years, or once or never again? How would you rate it? Let us know about your personal thoughts on the movie itself. What are your favorite moments?
And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And yeah, tune in next time as we're going to be talking about another Christmas movie or special. So until then, see you later.
Bye-bye.
Gaze upon the sky, Christmas on my mind, somewhere from a place up high above. There's a song of love travel